Today I'm going to show you how I used my vacation recovery days to make this beautiful Zentangle Sunburst. I'm going to use a Santorini stone and my neon paint pens from Thule Art, but first I'm going to take an acrylic craft bottle and trace a little circle around it with a chalk pencil for the center of my sunburst. And then I'm going to take that same chalk pencil and just kind of create some lines coming out from the center of the stone, like sunshine, like rays of sunshine. And I'm going to leave that center area with the Santorini showing through, but the other sunburst rays of sunshine are going to get colored in with the markers. So this initial part is not much more than coloring like you'd color in a coloring book. We're just going to fill in all of these spaces with the various different colors. And I just kind of randomly pulled out. I started randomly and then I was like, oh, let's kind of base this around the rainbow. So I took different versions of the neon paint pens that fit with the colors of a rainbow. So at the beginning of the video, I said that I did this rock as part of my vacation recovery days, which I realize sounds a little insane, but they're actually kind of a cool trick that I learned from my friend at work. And that is whenever you have any kind of vacation or you go somewhere that you plan at least one day, maybe two, when you get home, that you're not immediately going right back to work. So you have a day or two to kind of recover, unpack, do the laundry, veg a little bit, and it is the greatest thing ever. So we did it when we went to Disneyland several years ago, and we made sure we had a whole weekend to kind of veg and recover from the go of the vacation. And so this rock, we took a little mini vacation out of town back home for the 4th of July. So we were only gone 3 days, I think about 3 days, but we had the whole weekend to recover. We came back on a Friday, we're home by Friday evening, and had Saturday and Sunday to unpack, sleep in, do the laundry, and make this rock. And I think it's just the greatest idea ever because it just allows you to not feel like you're going from one thing right into the next, because a lot of vacations feel like they're on the go all the time, right? So it's not work and it's more fun than work, but there's also sometimes schedules to it, or rushing around, or long trips in a car, or whatever it might be. So these recovery days are just great because they allow you to be kind of lazy, not have major responsibilities, and to just enjoy. And so this rock fits in perfectly with that because it's going to be a Zentangle design, which is repeating patterns. And I recently had a request. I think somebody saw a picture of one of these and went, oh, can you do a video on one of these? And I haven't done one in a while. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. I can relax. We can do some Zentangling, and the new folks that haven't seen it yet can check it out and see what it's all about. So my center lines around the circle were not exactly perfect, so I'm going to take my nail drill, my electric nail drill, and a pointed drill bit and just kind of clean up those lines so that circle is nice and even all the way around. And then I'm going to take my black PC1MR paint pen and I'm going to line the middle circle first. Now this can be kind of daunting because circles are hard to do evenly, so I'm kind of trying to go section by section. So if you think of it in terms of, oh, I'm going to do the yellow, then I'm going to do the pink and the blue, it's a little easier to keep it even. And then I'm also going to create black lines in between each of the sunbursts so that we have some nice clear definitions and the Zentangle designs won't overrun into each other. So I have 12 colored spots here, so I am going to do 3 sets of 4 different designs. And I'm going to start out with kind of what I call repeating rainbows. Basically what this is 3 lines of a small arch that's like a rainbow in any certain direction. I like to start in a corner like this, and then I kind of angle a different direction and do 3 more lines. And so They're always running in a different direction and kind of creates this cool scalloped look. Not so much rainbows once you get them all on there, but that's kind of the idea when you're making them. So it's always 3 lines. I try and start at an angle, and then I always try and continue at an angle so that it's always going in a different direction than the one you're building off of. On this next one, I wanted to do very tiny circles that grew into bigger circles with kind of black negative space in the background as the circles got bigger. I actually went a couple more colored slots after this one and decided I didn't like how it turned out. So we'll come back to this one and fix it in a little bit. The next colored slot is going to be very similar to the rainbows, except it's going to be straight lines. So this is 3 straight lines, and I start usually in a corner at an angle and then go at an opposite angle of that and just kind of build them. The lines get longer as the colored space gets wider, but they're always going in a different direction, and it kind of creates this overlapping, cool look. And on the next space, I'm going to do spirals. So I start with kind of a spiral that maybe goes around once or twice, so they're pretty small, and then I just start working in around it, and sometimes you have to kind of separate the lines and have them connect if it's next to another spiral or if it's next to the dividing lines, but it creates this really cool look. Now that we got through 4 spaces, we're going to circle back around to the little rainbows. So we're going back to the 3-lined arched lines that look like little rainbows on this blue space. And this was right about the time that I was realizing I was going to have to go around to those circles that I wasn't loving. And so I decided we're going to change that one up. We're going to change up the second design, the second colored design. So I took the nail drill again and just basically erased what I had on there. You just very carefully sand off. It allows you to do it in kind of a very detailed fashion close to the lines. I sanded off all of the color and the black Posca paint pen, and I refilled it in with the same color so that we could come back in and do a different design. I have no idea what to call this design, but basically I created one line, and then I pulled down curved lines around each side of it. And then I created another line kind of diagonal off of that one and created curved lines around both sides of that one. And I don't even know what this looks like necessarily. It kind of reminds me of some sort of plants or something, but you just keep filling in the lines, kind of creating the center line and then bringing those curved lines on both sides, and look at how cool it looks. So that immediately got nominated as the second design in the group of 4. But another thing that you can do with these is if you find one of these patterns or you create a totally different pattern that you really like, I could have done one pattern on every single one of these colors and it still would have looked really cool. So that's one of the things I like about Zentangling is you can kind of just go with the flow. You could have done a different pattern on every single color. You could do the same one. You could alternate. You could do like I do and do a pattern of 4. It's really up to you, and you also don't have to do this on rocks. Maybe you have a notebook that you might want to do this with colored pencils and a black pen, or you could also, I hope I'm not the only one that doodles in the middle of meetings. Sometimes it helps me stay focused if I have a little notebook and you might doodle. Patterns are a perfect way to do that, right? Like it's sort of mindless, but it still creates something very beautiful. And I think I really love that for any kind of recovery days or any time where I'm really coming to do painting because I need to relax or recharge or maybe let go of intrusive thoughts in my mind or whatever. Patterns work really well. So the Zentangling or doing mandalas, like the dotted mandalas, work really well for me for this. So just a thought for something you can try if you've never tried it before, or you could take it as a challenge to create some really beautiful art with different patterns. If you go on Pinterest and search Zentangle designs, you can find all kinds. These are kind of my go-to ones. So you can do whatever you want, totally customizable. The colors could be all kinds of fun, totally up to you. This can also be done on regular rocks too. I just really wanted a nice big flat surface on this one, so that's why I used a Santorini, but it works also on regular river rock as well, and it creates some really cool designs. Thanks so much for stopping by to relax with me. I hope this gave you some fun ideas. Take care, and I'll see you next time.